Hey guys, it's Michael. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I will keep the intro short. Today I will share my 5 best cues for you to immediately improve your chin-up or pull-up performance. Cue number 1. By the way, all the cues that I will share with you, they work for pull-ups as well as for chin-ups. And we are going to start with the lift-off. What I want you to do is, if you are going in the dead hang position and you start pulling, I want you to put an emphasis on pulling via your pinkies. So you want to apply the pressure into the bar on that area. And that is also true for pull-ups as well as it is for chin-ups. And the reason for that is pretty simple. In order to produce force in the later parts of the pull-ups or chin-ups, we need to be able to internally rotate. And to have more room in internal rotation, we want to externally rotate in the first part of the movement. And that works very, very good if you focus on that movement, on creating that bending the bar pressure, because you pull a lot with the power of your pinkies. So for pull-ups like this, and for the chin-ups, you kind of pull the elbow in the starting point to create pressure on the pinky fingers like this. The second cue is also a pretty powerful one. And that is that when we are pulling up, we're not trying to pull up in a straight line, which will force us to extend our spine and arch a bit. We want to pull up in a slight curve. So we pull a bit away from the bar and then closer to it. Let me show you the difference first with a chin up. Now I'm pulling up in a straight line like that. And you will see I need to arch my back a bit and push my chest out. And now I'm pulling slightly curved, which helps me to keep my stack like that. And the same, of course, also works for pull-ups. We're going straight up like that versus slightly curved. And both of these techniques are super, super valid and both work great. But if we want to push a lot of weight, the curve just offers benefits because you're arriving more stacked on top. And as the shoulders are not that retracted and the chest is not that out, your lat has better leverage to pull if you're arriving more in that stacked position versus that arched position. So if you're just going for a lot of reps, there's nothing wrong with having the chest open. If you want to push a lot of weight or pull a lot of weight, try to stay stacked. Cue number 3 to immediately improve your chin-up or pull-up performance is super easy, and that is eyes on the bar. So when you start pulling, you look at the bar, and as you pull up, you also get the chin down a bit so you can still take a look at the bar. And that helps because the vision will guide the movement and will help you to create more power output. So, same of course for chin-ups. When we're starting, eyes on the bar. And then we're ending here, not here. Which is still kind of like eyes on the bar, but of course, you cannot see it anymore up here. Cue number 4, my favorite one, because I can finally advertise the king of weighted belts, so get one, good. And in order to be able to use cue number 4, you just need a belt that has a chain long enough that offers you a weight position in between our feet. And as I already told you in the cue where I talked about pulling in a curved way in order to have the rib cage and the pelvis stacked, this cue will help us to keep our pelvis in that position. So what we want is we want to avoid this arched back position, which will happen to a certain degree automatically, because when the lat contracts, it pulls on the hips. And as the legs hang freely, it has the potential to pull us into that anterior tilt. And we are trying to use a technique to counterbalance that. So the idea is that we're going into the pull with the toes pulled up in order to activate the calves and the hamstrings. That should help us to pull the hip in that posterior tilt. Secondly, what we do is we push the weight together gently. That will activate the adductors, which also has the potential to stabilize the hip. So, going under the bar, pull the toes up, weight together, and then you will already feel that the hip is a bit more stable when you pull up, and you're less likely to go in that arched back position. Cue number 5 to immediately improve your pull-up or chin-up performance is all about the right breathing patterns. And what I want you to try is that when you start in the dead hang, I want you to breathe out through your open mouth, and you want to feel how your obliques are contracting and stabilizing your pelvis and your lower ribs. Then you close the mouth and breathe in through your nose in order to have oxygen available for your set so you don't pass out. So what we're going to do is remember the foot position and then boom. That is what you do. So breathing out, tension, breathe in, pull. And that will help you again to have a proper stack, nice core tension in order to arrive in a very powerful position on top to really be able to close those repetitions.